Hello trainers, it's your favorite content creator Ganetto, and today we dive into Great League after a long time. We're having a meta team around Walrein Trevenant core, while we have a closer on the face of a charmer Alolan Ninetales. I haven't played Alolan Ninetales quite a few seasons now in Sylph, and I haven't played it at all in Great League, so this is gonna be super cool to have it right now, and we're gonna see together how a charmer can fit on a pretty well around meta around charmers, especially with all those steel types around. Of course, the reason I'm using a charmer is not the steel types but the rise of those Swamperts and the fighters. With shields up, I think that Alolan Ninetales can really melt down those Swamperts, and of course even without shields those fighters are just gonna get out of the way pretty much effectively. So here landing this Shadow Ball is gonna be super huge, and they have at the back a Sableye, which means they're just gonna farm us down, but we do not care at all because we can still go for a last second seed bomb, and with that amount of HP that we have, we can safely take a return and still farm down. You can see that this team is no joke at all. The Trevenant Walrein core works pretty much 100% of the time if you play it correctly, and Ninetales is absolutely a core breaker for other teams as well, especially for those Scrafties and other dark types that your opponent might have, because they counter down the core pretty much effectively. So we're gonna go right here now with the Talonflame scenario on the Sweet Team, because we do not want to get this Talonflame on our backline, so we're just gonna fire it off with some Icicle Spears out of the way. They're coming in with the Walrein. We have to block the Earthquake correctly, however I decide not to block here, and this is gonna be a mistake. Oh, I block it, okay, my bad trainers, and they make a switch out to Swampert, so I have the time now to go for the seed bombs. Even if they go for multiple amount of Hydro Cans, I don't care at all. I'm just gonna take it and rely completely on my Ninetales. We can see here, I see it for the first time, I did not realize at the moment, we take almost no damage at all from that Swampert. Perhaps they lagged there, but it doesn't make any a reason to weird the outcome, let's say it like this, because we're gonna win anyway here, because we're coming in with Ninetales. We would have kept our energy and shields for our Ninetales, so we're just gonna farm all the way down, even the Swampert on its shadow form. So you can see that this team is absolutely amazing. You're not gonna regret using a team like this, not only the core of Trevenant Walrein but also Ninetales, because it is pretty well structured for the meta. Steel types are almost not around at all, so that means that Ninetales can have an easier matchup overall against the Great League meta. So we're having here an Earthquake coming in. Yeah, this is the time that I took the Earthquake on my face, and this is gonna be kinda sad for us, but we can go for the Psyshock. Using the Psyshock means that we take out the Walrein and also gives the backline some reason to farm us down. However, they have a Frostlass, and I was like, okay, you know what? They will try to farm us down, so we can threat them with that Weather Ball. We're gonna do it successfully. We're gonna put at a point that my Walrein can farm down after we block once, hopefully at least, and we're gonna block here and immediately go with that Icicle Spear, because I know they have a lot of energy and I also have some energy, so I want to maintain that energy on my end. So here comes Swampert, and we got this Icicle Spear coming in clutch, and another one to threat them in using some energy or just take another shield out of the way. So they said to keep the shield, go for the move. We have the Trevenant, they see it, they back up, and yeah, Swamperts are all over the meta. Swamperts are one of the reasons that steel types do not exist at all on the meta, but overall I believe that fighters are also another reason that steels are not around, especially with Scrafties being all over Great League. Having this Bastiodon against us might be tricky, but if we can land this Earthquake will be super good for us. Of course we landed it, as you can see. I'm trying to farm down, but Bastiodon is pretty tanky, so we cannot do that right on time. We have to fire off, and they have, what did I tell you, a Scrafty. So, oh, a Surfetch, not Scrafty. Okay, I saw the counter, it was short, and I was like, it is a Scrafty, right? But it was not. Anyways, we're gonna go in with the Alolan Ninetales. They bail out to the Swampert, and we have a perfect answer to that Pokemon, which is gonna be Trevenant. So, whenever I'm seeing actually a Bastiodon lead, all those Bastiodon teams are gonna be kinda unsafe to use. What do I mean by this? Well, if you do not win the lead with Bastiodon, most probably you're gonna lose the match, because whatever you have at the back is most likely gonna be certain paired with other Pokemon, and you do not want that. And this Bastiodon lead might be kinda problematic if you play it on your team, but if you have it on your opponents, you know that if you can beat that Bastiodon up on the lead, whatever there is at the back, it is gonna get walled by your Pokemon. This is the way that Bastiodon teams are structured. Most probably they're gonna have another steel type like a Stunfisk or a Swampert or a Victreebel or a Deoxys or a Sableye. All those picks are pretty easily to counter them down with certain threats, so having a Bastiodon on your team up on the lead means that you either have to win the lead or just rely on the backline to do all the job, but it is kind of unsafe because if you lose the lead, you are gonna get paired with your backline against something really bad. So that's why I wanted to win the lead there with my Walrein against the Bastiodon, and that explanation took a lot of time, so we're gonna return to the match here with this Registeel. So we're getting pretty hard countered here, but we have to go with the last second Icicle Spear before they go for a move. I go for the Great just to be able to farm a little bit more against this Registeel. It was kinda safe to farm that extra powder snow, so they have the Scrafty coming in, and I want to bring it that low that a couple of those charms can bring it to no HP. However, they are super fast on the switch. They're gonna take only one charm worth of damage, and they have a Trevenant, which means that they can win only if they bait, right? So I'm like, bring it on, it is gonna be a Seed Bomb, I don't care at all, and we're just gonna completely farm down after that. They have nothing to throw at us, we're just gonna take the victory, and a pretty easy one if you play this team correctly. So another bad lead, this time on the face of the Scrafty. We have to switch out to our Trevenant, and this is not the best situation to be in, because we are kinda hard countered up on the lead on the switch, and on the second time on the switch, as you can see here, because Orangur is coming in place of Scrafty. So we have to use our Walrein now and do some cheap heavy damage. It was kinda of a weird connection there, cheap heavy damage, and we're gonna put it at a point that it needs one more powder snow. This is a bummer. We're gonna take a lot of damage to our Pokemon, and they have a Frostlass at the back. So Frostlass, a pretty cool Pokemon to use, but when it is up against the Charmer with two shields, it has nothing to throw because it is kinda glassy, so down it goes, completely getting farmed down. And Scrafty, I think, stands no chance at all against the Charmer, and yeah, I'm gonna take the victory eventually. So the mirror on the next one. We're having a weird lead here because we have to go straight for the Earthquakes, and one of us might go for a weird switch to absorb a move. This is why this matchup is weird. Good news here is that we win the CMP. So that means we can go for another one safely before they go for theirs. Worst case scenario, they absorb the move, so they decide to take it, and we're just gonna wait for the next Pokemon. They have a Sableye, I cannot switch out, I have to stay in and go for my Icicle Spear. They're just gonna use a shield, which is really huge because my Ninetales now can come in, and even though they carry the move return, I can just block here and completely farm down. But I'm expecting a switch, to be honest, which is gonna be to their own Trevenant, and I have to go for the Seed Bomb. I was pretty sure this was not gonna be a Shadow Ball, but it was. Plot twist there, Ganetto. And we're gonna go in now with our Ninetales. I'm pretty sure this is gonna be not a Shadow Ball this time, so we can take the Seed Bomb, and after that I'm just gonna completely farm all the way down the Sableye. Despite the fact that we deal super effective damage to that thing, we still were on a very weird situation because, as you saw there, that was pretty close. The Shadow Ball damage, it was absolutely amazing, and they even survived with a sliver amount of HP, so that means that this Sableye might have some really good IVs for PvP. Having here the Icicle Spears doing solid work against the Nidoqueen, and I know I can survive one more Poison Fang. Worst case scenario, we're gonna take them out well while they have already used the shield. So here comes my Icicle Spear, down goes Nido, and we're gonna take the lead advantage, the switch advantage. So having access now to Medicham, and okay, yeah, they have both a Medicham, both an Altaria, and things couldn't be looking much better for us because we have a Charmer, and yeah, look at that. Pretty awesome, right? Yeah, you love to see it when it is only on your side. If it is on the opponents, yeah, I don't know. Anyways, we're just gonna go now with the Weather Ball, dealing massive damage to their shields, both of those shields. And yeah, I think that my Trevenant now will be on a very good spot to finish off the match. They know that, and they go with a late bailout. So now, trainers, we're gonna focus into the next one against a bad lead against this Deoxys because it carries counter, and we're gonna get hard counter not only up on the lead but also at the switch. Let's see how we can turn this around once again, because everything is kinda glacier here. As you can see from this foul play, it is not an Ultra League level of bulk for those Pokemon, so we have to go for the Seed Bomb, and this is gonna do massive damage to the Scrafty, but not enough to finish it off. So I know that they have a Deoxys up on the lead, a Scrafty at the back, and perhaps they have a triple counter team, which is kinda common to be honest. So I will go in with my Walrein, absorb all the damage, and do massive work on the Deoxys. When I saw the Deoxys, I was like, perhaps they do not have a triple counter, I'm not sure. So I'm just gonna go here for another Icicle Spear, dealing some cheap damage over time against this Deoxys. Gonna take the shield, which is really huge, and they have a Walrein, so no triple counter team for them, and we have to rely on the fact that they are gonna go here for the Earthquake. But they go for the bait, which is kinda sad, and we have to go now for the Psyshock, taking out the shield, and hopefully we can take the win here. But let's see together, because it's gonna be super close. Gonna seal the Earthquake, which is really huge. After that we can farm down, and we know that we can survive even a whole Rock Slide at this point. So we're gonna get hit by a Thunderbolt, which is gonna do a lot of damage as well, and we're gonna answer back with the Weather Ball. We have to go here for the total farm down, but they can beat us to a move at the last second, and this is gonna be super close, trainers, and we're gonna take the victory, because actually we could have taken the victory even if they weren't debuffed, I'm not sure, but we're gonna take the victory. So last one, trainers, and this is gonna come to a magnificent end against a very good lead with a Mandibuzz coming up against our Ice type. So we're gonna do some damage to their shields with that Victory Ball coming in, having to shield that Icicle Spear. And Trevenant now will be on a very good spot to farm completely down. So they stopped attacking there. Did you see that? That was a pretty smart choice, to be honest, because now they can come in with Mandibuzz and start farming all that energy. I'm pretty sure I can win though, because I can go for another move here with my Seed Bomb. We already took a shield out of them, which is really cool, and I can win because here comes my Charmer, a Fairy type Charmer, which can just absorb the damage as well and completely farm down the enemy Pokemon. I'm not expecting for them to stay anymore here, so they switch out to the Deoxys, and we're just gonna go to town here with my Weather Balls. So as you can see here, trainers, the team is already putting off some solid work, and at this point I want to thank you all for the support that you show to this channel, and of course be sure to leave a like before you go. Subscribe to the channel if you already haven't, because more than 75% of you haven't subscribed, and more support would mean that more videos are coming up from this channel towards your end. Not only that, but also keep in mind that you can submit your battles to me so that we can have some really cool showcases on this channel. So that's all, trainers. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you all into the next one. Take care, trainers.